All right, accused murderer Fotis Dulos ordered to be rearrested if he survives his apparent suicide attempt.
This order comes just one day after Dulos was found at his Connecticut home unresponsive in his running vehicle.
We will await word from physicians about what is reasonable to expect. Mr. Dulos is not guilty of the crimes charged and hope that he recovers so that we can vindicate him in a court of law.
All right, but he's in pretty bad shape. What does come next for this case, and what if this guy doesn't survive? Criminal defense attorney Robert Bianchi is here with expert insight on the case. Good morning, counselor.
Good morning.
What a development this is with Fotis Dulos.
Crazy, twisted case, and just keeps getting worse and worse. But this is going to have significant legal ramifications in the case, of course, should he die, or if he should survive and be found to be incompetent to be able to assist his defense at his trial. I've had this case as a prosecutor where a person becomes incapacitated in the middle of the proceedings, and you can't go forward until a judge determines, based on medical evidence, that he can assist counsel in his defense.
Well, yeah, but what if he never can? Then what happens?
Then it doesn't get tried.
But then what about the family? I mean,
this is the big thing about the fact that if he commits suicide, the family has been deprived justice, the police department, the community that's invested so much energy in this case, and the kids. The poor kids have now lost another parent, whether you feel sympathetic for that or not. But the bottom line is, if he dies, the case against him gets dismissed.
But what about the girlfriend?
Well, the case with the two co-defendants is going to be ongoing, but here's the interesting dynamics behind the scenes. Having been a prosecutor, being a defense lawyer now, I think the defense lawyers were holding their cards back with the other two co-defendants, hopefully down the road saying, hey, I got some data for you, prosecutors, and hopefully they're going to lesser their sentence and testify against Fotis. But now that Fotis has died, or is maybe incapacitated, that changes the equation. So those defense attorneys may be coordinating right now and say, we better get to the prosecutors ASAP.
We don't have an answer. The first thing I thought of is there a note that's going to tell where the body is?
Right.
If there's nothing that says where the body is and he remains like this in a vegetative state, or if he dies, don't you have to go to Michelle Troconis and say, you know, we'll give you a great deal. You just got to tell us where her body is so the family can know. I mean, what do you do? You're
bringing out two excellent points that the legal world has been buzzing about with this. A search warrant was executed at Fotis's home yesterday. People were asking why. Personally, as a person who did these investigations, I think the why is they want to see if there's a suicide note or any evidence as to where the body is buried. If those two things come up negative, then it is likely prosecutors will go to the lesser culpable, lesser involved defendants and say, look, we need to find this body so the family can have a proper burial. We can close this case, give them closure. We're willing to cut you a deal. It may not be a complete cut, but it's at least something that's going to substantially limit your exposure.
I mean, I guess there's no way to prevent something like this from happening, is there?
No, there is no way. And in fact, there have been cases I've been involved in that not only suicide attempts, but people have become incapacitated because of car accidents, medical illnesses, things of this nature. Crazy. And I can tell you as a prosecutor, a homicide prosecutor, it took the wind out of these prosecutors' sails when their main target did this, because it's likely going to cause a huge delay in the case.
What a story. It is something else. Bob, thank you so much. We do appreciate it.
All right.